Hey guys, Amanda here. I want to talk about, a situation happened and it was something that brought up some stuff that I struggle with, and I wanted to talk about it because I thought maybe it would be helpful. So last week I was supposed to meet with my case manager about doing the voc rehab. She was supposed to send in the application, and then we were going to discuss, if, whatever they saw, whatever, that whole thing. And our appointment was for 9 o'clock, and I was running a little behind. So I just asked if we could push it back like 20 minutes. And she's like, no, our appointment was for 8:30. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. We made this appointment together. We sat down together. We wrote it together. No, it wasn't. So that was like the first thing that wasn't cool. So I had a conversation with her on the phone, and she didn't send in that application. And she told me on the phone, see, what happened was there was like 2 times that I had to reschedule because of my cat when he broke his leg, and my son when he was in school. The school called me. I had to go deal with that, so I had to reschedule. And I called her and I let her know. And then there were 2 times. One, she had to reschedule because she had a staff meeting. And then the other time, she double booked me and another person, and she was closer to that other person geographically. So she went to that person, but she decided to take all 4 of those instances and say that they were on my side 4 times of a no-call, no-show. And that is not true. And then she had the audacity to tell me that this is a business. I'm not making the company money. And it makes her look incompetent in her job, and she doesn't want my case to make her look incompetent, and that I am a bad business investment. She told me that over the phone. You're not supposed to say that. Very unprofessional, unethical, and just, she wasn't really thinking about the job of helping people. She was thinking about how good it makes her look. So I really don't want to work with somebody who sees me in terms of how much money I can make them. And I'm not going to take on her feelings of feeling incompetent. I'm not going to take that responsibility. That's her responsibility. That's her job. If she feels incompetent, it's because she is either incompetent or she needs to step up more. I don't know. But I'm not taking on that responsibility. That's her stuff. So needless to say, I called up the supervisor, her supervisor, and I was upset. It actually it shifted my mood. I was really excited, really excited. And then this happened, and I cried about it because it hit a chord with me. I started feeling like a failure, like I wasn't worth somebody helping me to better my life and make, bring about change that is positive. I started thinking that way. And that was on my mind when I left a message with the supervisor. I haven't spoken to her yet. We kept missing each other, and she's going to be there on Monday. But I was just so emotional that when I left the message, I don't think she could understand me. I was crying. I tried to keep it together, but I couldn't. I just felt so bad about myself at that point. And then I started, it was a few days of that. Like, if there was a scale of 1 up here and down here is 10, where this is the lowest of depression, and this was the high one is like, just feeling sad, I was at like a 5. It was situational, but it was just instantly my mood just changed, and there was this thought process that started happening: not good enough, not worthy, failure, on and on and on. And I realized that I was thinking that way. And I was able to isolate my thoughts about what was happening. And I realized that this is a pattern that I've had. Something negative happens, I feel bad, I have all these bad thoughts, and then I will like quit, or just be like, I'm not going to do it, whatever. So in that sense, I was letting my fears and my pain and my thought process, I was letting that all dictate what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do. And I don't want my emotions to be what drives. I don't want it to drive what. I don't want my emotions to be the reason why I choose this or that. Yes, emotions are important, and they do come into play with making decisions, but at the same time, I don't want that to be the only reason I make a decision. It needs to be informed, and just, I need to think about it, and there's a process, and it's not something that I want to carry with me as I go forward. And this is just a bump in the road. This doesn't mean that I'm not going to get to do these things. It doesn't mean that. It just means that this particular situation isn't right for me and something needs to change. But I was able to isolate that and think about it and realize I'm not going to let what happened with this worker affect what I'm going to do next. Trying to figure out the school situation, the voc rehab situation, just everything that I'm, just everything. And that makes me feel good, because I was able to see that and not just see it in terms of black and white, but that, it's just a bump in the road, and it's just an obstacle that I need to overcome. And it's okay that I felt sad. It's okay that I was hurt. It was okay that I felt bad. But I'm not going to let that rule me. So I am going to get another worker. And I am going to just start with the steps again. Just keep going. Do what I need to do. So that was that experience, I didn't like the experience, but I did like the fact that I was able to recognize a pattern of behavior that I have been doing for a long time, and that recognizing it and acknowledging it makes it a lot easier to deal with things. I don't feel inadequate anymore about that with her, particularly with her in that situation and that whole dynamic. It happened, it's over, and I'm okay. I'm here. Everything's okay, So I'm proud of myself for being able to recognize that and change the way that I'm thinking about it and how I feel about it, because I don't want my feelings, like I said, I don't want my feelings to rule me, and I don't want what happened with this case manager to dictate. Well, I don't want this to turn into something where I go, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore, I quit. I don't want to think that way. I don't want that to be what I choose because of this particular situation. So, it worked out. But needless to say, there's things that have been happening, which is supposed to be like what my case manager helps me with, and right now I'm sort of like floating. So there are a few things that I could do. Go to the library, try to like see who I could talk to in the department, like, I don't know, just try to like look and see what I could do, because I really want to talk to another case manager and get the ball rolling, because I want to do this. I want to do what I can and see where it takes me. So, oh, and another thing, my case manager, she never ever called me back. You would leave a message. It would say that she would say, I will return your call within a 24-hour period. She never returned my calls. I left her messages. She never returned my text messages. So there was like this huge communication block. She never contacted me back. So it was hard to work with her, and I felt uncomfortable around her. We're just not a good fit. That's all. We're just not a good fit. And the fact that she said that to me, I wish she had said that like at the beginning. Like, I don't know. I am not going to work with somebody or deal with somebody who sees me in terms of like, oh, you're worth money. Oh, so I should work with you. Like, I don't know what's going on in her head, and I don't care. But I'm not going to let what she did dictate how I feel and have that dictate what I'm going to do, where in the past I would have quit. But I'm not going to do that. So I'm proud of myself. Okay, well, I just wanted to talk about that, and, you know, maybe hopefully it'll help somebody, you know, to try to be more aware of your thought process and your behaviors and like the patterns that might lead you down a road of not being able to achieve what you want. You can't blame other people for what you don't do or what you do. Those are your own choices. So just being aware of how you feel. It's okay to feel sad, mad, whatever. But then it's over and done with, and then you find another way to achieve what you need. You know? And I'm going to try to keep working on this stuff. So, alright, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.